Hey everybody, this is a Review Revolution coming back at you with part 2 of the DC Universe Wave 6 Captain Marvel review. Captain Marvel. A very cool character. Very nice history behind him. I hope you enjoyed watching that first part. If you decide to skip it, when you get a chance, go back and watch it. Again, you might find some things that are kind of interesting. But looking at the pack, we've got, of course, SHAZAM. Wave 6, Figure 5, and the history behind him is what made me choosing to do number 1. There's Captain Marvel, looking very heroic in his pack, standing above Kalibak's left leg. Yeah. Looking at the back of the box, we have the figures. Mr. Miracle, who has the Dr. Impossible variant. We have Hawkman. Killer Moth, Superman, who has his red and blues variant, Captain Marvel, or SHAZAM, and then finally Kalibak. One nifty thing that I found out when I was kind of going through this was that Wave 6 actually is the last wave that has 5 figures in it. Wave 6, Wave 5 was the Metallo wave, and then it actually had 5 figures in it also, but Wave 7 is the Atom Smasher wave, and that has 7 figures in it. So, interestingly enough, this is the last wave that actually was going to be released with a 5-character lineup. But looking at the card, of course it is the explosion background with the various panels, but looking at it, we have Captain Marvel up here at the top. We have Hawkman on the other corner. Superman, which you can't really make out too well behind the cape. Mr. Miracle. Captain Marvel again. Mr. Miracle again. And then Killer Moth in the middle. Now, Mr. Miracle, as I said, does have the Dr. Impossible variant, so I would be willing to accept that either this or this would be the Dr. Impossible, but Superman here is the one who has the next variant, and yet we have a second Captain Marvel. So I tend to think that this was just a preview launch, kind of an attempt to take a look at the card, see how it came out before it actually went out with 7 different characters. I'm guessing. I don't know, but a little something to notice if you've got any Wave 6 characters. For Captain Marvel, his biography. Drawn to a secret cavern beneath the subway, orphan newsboy Billy Batson met the immortal wizard SHAZAM, who granted Billy the superpower to do battle with evil by uttering Shazam's name aloud. Billy was thus transformed into not only an adult, but the world's mightiest mortal, empowered with the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlantis, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury, which you take the initials of each, SHAZAM, SHAZAM, and that's how he transforms. Statistics: first appearance Wiz Comics number 1, 1940. Real name William Billy Batson. Occupation radio personality. Base of operations Fawcett City. Special abilities: in addition to his other great abilities, he has the power to fly and is nearly invulnerable. Something I didn't mention in the last video, and I did kind of run out of time, I should have put this in earlier, is that basing SHAZAM, or Captain Marvel, very strongly against Clark Kent and Superman, they made him a boy, not as his alter ego, to try and reduce the similarities. But just like Clark Kent is a reporter, Billy Batson was actually kind of a radio reporter for his school. So, the parallels between the characters go on, and it's an interesting little thing. I definitely recommend that, anybody who's interested in it, take a look, wiki it, do some searches. You'll be surprised. You'll enjoy it. But for now, we're going to go ahead and take Captain Marvel out of the pack, get a look at the figure, and have some fun. Be right back. Alright, well, we've got Captain Marvel out of his pack, and I have to say, I mean, on top of being a Captain Marvel fan, or as being a Captain Marvel fan, I have to give a hand to Mattel and the Four Horsemen for really putting together a nice version of him. I mean, he's not the best character that you'll find in this line, but to be honest, for Captain Marvel fans to have him in the series, to have the figure in the line, they did a pretty good job. It's nothing I have any serious complaints about. It's all just, you know, he's a little basic is all. There's not a whole lot of things around it, but that's not so different from other figures in the line. Taking a look, you can see he's got a very heroic looking mug. His shoulders, interestingly enough, now this is one of the things I'm a little funny about. First off, the shoulders are rather squared. I mean, I certainly agree with, you know, square-shouldered superheroes, but this is a little weird. And of course, you can kind of make it out here as well. The cape kind of covers it, but it also has kind of a square shoulder here too. So it's got the kind of square shoulder, sharp edge. I don't know. The arm, the bicep here, there's a swivel joint in it, of course, and there's this bit of a gap. And it's a little bit bigger gap than I've gotten with any of my other characters. It's not loose. As a matter of fact, it's quite tight, but it looks like it's about to fall out. And it doesn't push in any further, and it just makes it look kind of weird right there. So I guess as far as negatives go, that's one thing that kind of caught my attention as soon as I got him out of the pack. Otherwise, looking at the sculpt, you know, pretty. I know I say a lot, but pretty standard fare. You know, nothing different, nothing unusual. On the boot, there is actually. Let me see if I can kind of. There we go. You can kind of see there's some stitching along the top of the boot, which is different. That is something kind of unique, something that is very Captain Marvel. On his back, he does have his cape, which is the plastic. Now, this is a harder plastic, it feels like, than the one for Superman or Batman. It could be that just the cape is shorter, but it does feel as though that it is a harder plastic. And looking down here, the top layer is, you know, kind of molded all the way down. Looking at this, actually, I can get my first look at how well the gold trim is done. I will always give a lot of sympathy for anybody who does gold or yellow work. They tend to bleed, they tend to run. They're difficult colors to work with, but on him, they did a great job. Even just a little bead that's on his jacket, where they sculpted the front of his chest. Very, very well done. The gold rope that goes across his chest, you know, taking fashion advice from Power Girl, it's done really well. It looks really good. In the way of articulation, looking at the figure, you can really tell there's nothing about him per se that's going to limit it except for the cape. So his head does go up, down, turn. This arm has full range of movement. This one, just like it looks like, that's about as far back as it's going to go. But it can come out, swivel the bicep, elbow, wrist. A little bit of sculpting on the back of the hand too, which the camera picked up. That's real nice. He has his crunch. Oops. He has his crunch. Twist of the waist. Leg comes out. Out again. Twist at the thigh. Knee. And foot. So, overall, a good interpretation of the character. Fits in very well with the other DC Universe figures. And one of the things I love best about Captain Marvel, he is a rather campy character, actually, in some of the ways he's been depicted, mainly because, of course, you know, his true self is a boy, but with him, you can really have a little bit more fun, kind of putting him in some campy superhero kind of poses that, you know, you really couldn't do with Superman as much. But this has been the Review Revolution, saying rate, subscribe, comment, join the revolution, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Oh, and I'm going to turn this into a habit, I can tell. With Captain Marvel, he does come with the left leg of Calabac. It's been sitting there the whole time, so I didn't talk about it. But as soon as we get the other figures, we'll go ahead and do a review as we snap him together. So, sorry about that, guys. Take care. Bye.